Our first speaker is a fourth-year pharmaceutical science major and a Massachusetts native. She is currently on co-op on the U.S. marketing team at Alnylam Pharmaceuticals. On campus, she has been a part of NU Gold and A-Asia and is currently on the co-cultural chair for Kappa Phi Lambda and on Vital's e-board. She's super excited to share more about the environment she grew up in and being part of a family restaurant business. Please give it up for Angie Chen.
Okay. Hi everyone, thank you so much for coming out tonight to hear all of the wonderful stories that will be shared. I'm super excited to start off the event. My name is Angie Chen, and my talk dives into something that has shaped mine and my family's and even the community around us with a unique and meaningful twist through food. Sorry. Okay. So let me start this talk off with something that I think we can all agree on, and that crab rangoons are the ultimate appetizer. You've got the crispy exterior, the creamy filling, and the perfect balance of crunch, sweetness, and a little mystery. Because let's be real, do any of us actually know if there's real crab in there? And the best ones are shaped like little crowns, as shown here, so you can tear off each corner and dip it into the duck sauce for the perfect bite. I don't make the rules, but if you see a crab rangoon that's shaped like a triangle, just know that they're doing it wrong. But here's the thing, growing up as a restaurant kid, I realized that life is kind of like a crab rangoon. Hear me out. You've got the crispy shell, which represents the chaotic, yet sometimes stressful reality of running a restaurant, late nights spent hustling, and holidays dedicated to customer service, and those with very specific requests and sometimes odd questions like, are there any nuts in chicken and cashews? That's the outer shell and the grind that we must endure sometimes. Then there's the creamy center, the heart of it all, which is family. And between serving dishes and taking orders, we bonded in our unique way. The restaurant became a backdrop for family dinners that didn't resemble your average meal at home. It was about grabbing bites in between orders and giving each other silent nods and signals and connecting through the shared experience of working together. I learned to navigate the ups and downs of the bustling environment and find joy in the little moments, and each crab rangoon that we served was more than just an appetizer. It represented the delicate balance of hard work and love that my family poured into the restaurant. And in this talk, I want to share how these lessons, reflected in dishes, have shaped my life. And before we begin, I'm going to give just a quick little backstory on how the restaurant came to be. So my dad moved to America in high school, and it wasn't long until he decided to hold off on college to make money and open what he thought would be his only restaurant, but it would just be his first. Hang Tai was the name as a tribute to my grandfather, and over the next 10 years, he built Hang Tai's reputation, menu, and business to the local community before opening my family's second restaurant when I was just 2 years old. The restaurant serves the typical Chinese American dishes, but in my bias, it's the best one out there. And to give you an idea on how much it's loved by everyone, we're soon celebrating 30 years. Amid all the movement and excitement, there was always one constant, the booth in the little corner. I asked my dad to take a picture of it yesterday. And from this little corner, I had the perfect view of the dining room, the bar, the kitchen door, and the entrance. The booth was where I learned the restaurant's rhythm and how it changed with the seasons in each day's work. One of the most familiar rituals was congee, which is served every single day at around noon. And like clockwork, it marked the moment when the restaurant staff would take a little break from the morning duties, and the chefs would cook up a giant pot, and we would all take turns patiently waiting in line to fill our bowls. Congee became an essential part of our routine and a dish that fueled us through long work days. When I was younger, I loved its predictability, and my dad would always cook 5 or 6 eggs for my brother and I. and we would look through his mini fridge for other side dishes. On summer days and snow days and days off from work, and even nights when both my parents had to work, I'd join my dad in this ritual. It was the one time during the busy day when he would sit down and enjoy his meal with us at the booth, and the moment of stillness became a small but powerful part of my life at the restaurant. Congee, as many of you know, in its warmth and simplicity, is like a comforting anchor reminding us to refuel before the next wave of customers. Some people need coffee to get through their day, but for us, Congee became a steady presence and the heartbeat of the restaurant life. After our meal and before I was old enough to start helping out, I'd settle in the booth for the rest of the day, and I'd switch between doing homework, reading, word searches, or sneaking in moments of Disney Channel until customers walked in, and then quickly flipping back to the news or sports. In that booth, I learned to appreciate the quiet moments. The restaurant might have been fast-paced, but it was also a place where connections were formed over shared meals, whether it was a simple bowl of congee or the laughter of my parents chatting with regulars. Even in the most hectic days, these moments of nourishment taught me valuable lessons: the importance of taking a pause, being present, and finding comfort in routine. So December is always our busiest month, and the days leading up to the holidays often felt like a blur of excitement and intensity. If you can picture a long forming line outside of the restaurant, spilling into the cold, shivering customers, some were nice and would wait patiently, chatting with others or scrolling on their phones, while others could be a bit rude and anxiously glance at their watches, but they were both hungry for food and the holiday spirit. Inside, we were all focused, working with speed and calmness, and even as orders after order rolled in and the phone ringing nonstop. In this environment, my family found our own holiday tradition. My mom went to one location and my dad was with us, and he played every role during these nights, from chef to bartender to waiter, basically wherever needed help. My brother worked the register and I was in the kitchen packing the takeout orders, and every 30 minutes, the little paper machine would start beeping and printing out receipts, and we would see another 10 to 15 orders go by, and each one needing the same care as the last. Christmas Day also looked, for us, this wasn't just work. It was a family tradition that brought us together and our way of celebrating the season as we served holiday meals that had become a tradition to others too. Christmas Day itself looked a little different for us compared to most families. Some years we'd unwrap presents before heading to the restaurant. Other years my brother and I would enjoy being at home while my parents went to work, giving a day to ourselves. And there were also some where we had a delay celebration, pushing gift giving to even the next day after the rush had slowed down. And such as last year shown here. This was actually taken on the 26th because we were all working Christmas Day. And no matter where we celebrated, one thing was certain, that some of us, if not all, were at the restaurant, fully immersed in the holiday hustle. Even the regulars got to know it, and a few of them just assumed that we don't celebrate the holidays, but those who knew us would ask us what time we would be exchanging gifts. And then some years, regulars would host a Yankee swap, so my parents got to celebrate early. But it's heartwarming to hear that to see that customers were celebrating as if they were a part of our family traditions too. New Year's Eve was a whole other experience. We closed the restaurant as the last customers left, rushing through the final cleanup to try and make it home in time for the ball drop. Those few moments after closing, when the restaurant had fallen quiet and we were locking up in the cold, felt like magic. There was always an air of excitement and peace, knowing we'd finish another busy season working together as a family, and we were ready to step into the new year. On the years where we couldn't make it home in time, we'd improvise, gathering around one of the booths or standing behind the bar, counting down the final seconds. I love the feeling of ending the year in the same place we had spent so many days together, celebrating among familiar sounds and smells. And there was something so meaningful about it, starting fresh in the very place that connected us as a family. Then shortly after came Chinese New Year, one of my favorite family celebrations. The restaurant turned into a place for family and workers to gather late at night after closing, and my dad would head to that restaurant hours before to start preparing a huge meal. And when I was younger, my mom would dress my brother and I. Around 11 p.m., we'd arrive just in time for the food to be ready, and there was also always lobster as the centerpiece. It felt so special being there so late, knowing that the restaurant was reserved just for us and those closest to us. And the energy was different on this day. It was loud, joyous, and vibrant. After the feast and handing out red envelopes, the adults would gather around and play mini table games or gamble, while the kids ran around playing hide-and-go-seek in the familiar space that we all knew so well. Looking back, it's bittersweet to realize that as the years have passed and we all grow older, and fewer kids would join, but those nights, especially in the early years, gave me memories that I carried with me. In these moments, surrounded by the bustle of the holiday season, I came to realize that they weren't just restaurant traditions, but they were our families. Just as lobster is essential to our Chinese New Year, these memories are a part of who I am and carry me forward as I create new traditions of my own. The poo-poo platter is a unique showpiece at our restaurant. It comes in a rotating tray with a little flame flickering in the middle, perfect for crisping up edges of teriyaki skewers or warming up egg rolls just right. I remember how excited I'd get watching it spin. Families would gather around the rotating tray and reaching across each other for their favorite bites. And when I look back, I realize it wasn't just the flavors or the presentation that made it special, it was how the poo-poo platter made people feel. For me, it was always a treat to watch from a distance, as I'd see it on customers' tables, but never really ordered it myself. And every year, my travel basketball team would wrap up the season with a celebration at our family restaurant. It wasn't a typical end-of-season banquet, but instead, we invited all my teammates and their families, filling up our tables with the usual noise. We set up a projector with slides of our best plays, our worst turnovers, and every player would get a little playful award. But for all the excitement around all of this, the real star of the night was always the poo-poo platter. Set in the middle, the little fire was always what grabbed people's attentions. My friends would grab chicken fingers, wings at just the right moment as they passed over the flame, and a low-key challenge that made it inevitably turn into something daring one another to get their food hotter and crispier without burning our fingers. Someone would always get a little too ambitious and attempt to grill their chicken wing over the flame, while the rest of us waited to see if they would succeed or end up with an appetizer with a little extra char. In those moments, the poo-poo platter was more than just food. The tray of assorted finger foods became our ritual, regardless of the season's wins or losses. I appreciate those nights even more than ever, realizing that things that bring people together don't always have to make sense to others. And for us, each season ended only after when we shared this platter. It became a symbol of our friendship and what it meant to grow up in a space that felt like home. When I think about sacrifice, I can't help but to recall spring rolls. They're delicious, crispy delights that require time and care to prepare. The process starts with selecting the right vegetables, washing, peeling, and thinly slicing each one. And wrapping the ingredients also takes time and patience. And then you also have to fry them to perfection to complete the dish. This labor of love reflects my parents' dedication to our family and the restaurant itself. I may not have had the stereotypical restaurant kid experience of working full-time as a 6-year-old and taking phone calls left and right. It was honestly just a place where I'd go and eat, and in high school, whenever my dad needed help on the weekends or whenever I honestly just needed extra money, I'd go in and help. I'd been super lucky in the sense that my parents prioritized my brother and I's childhood and education. They never forced us to help out, but I was there enough to witness their sacrifices. My dad works long hours, 12-hour shifts, while my mom also balances her own job in helping out afterward, even till this day. And their commitment is evident not only in the food that they serve, but also in the way that they navigate life challenges. Despite the demands of running the restaurant, my dad made it a priority to take us on adventures every single weekend as a kid. And as I grew older, I realized that I never really saw him take a true vacation. His version of getaway was planning trips for us. And for those of you who know me, you'd understand how fortunate I've been to travel because of him. And each trip has opened my eyes to new cultures and experiences, whether it be from Iceland to Greece to Norway, Dubai, and this doesn't even encapsulate it all. His passion for exploration inspired me to embrace travel as a way to connect with the world. This taught me that sacrifice isn't about the long hours, it's about making choices that prioritize who you care about the most, even when the world seems to be pulling you in different directions. It's a lesson I carry with me, especially as I travel and seek new experiences of my own. Just as the careful preparation goes into making spring rolls requires time and love, every trip has been an opportunity to create lasting memories, an investment that ultimately brought us to closer together. And lastly, when I think about what dish that truly captures the essence of the restaurant, sweet and sour sauce, or as we call it, duck sauce, comes to mind. And although it's technically not a dish, it might as well be, considering the amount of customers who ask for it and ask for extra, and seeing them pour it over everything that they order without even tasting the dish first. The sauce isn't just a condiment, it symbolizes the intricate balance of flavors and experiences that have shaped my family's journey. Duck sauce is a staple at the restaurant, complementing many appetizers while standing on its own as a beloved favorite. It's fascinating to see something as simple as a dipping sauce can evoke smiles and a sense of nostalgia among families who gather here to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, or simply just to enjoy a meal together. What's even more touching is the sense of community that has blossomed around our restaurant. Many of our customers have watched my brother and I grow up, from the days when we were just kids sitting at the booths to now when we help out or grab a meal whenever we're back. Our restaurant has become a place where friendships have formed, with customers meeting here, bonding over meals, and even establishing weekly hangouts. And it's heartwarming to witness the connections that have emerged over shared plates, drinks, and duck sauce. Many customers have remained with us through the years, celebrating milestones, sharing stories, while others have moved away, becoming a part of our collective memory. And there are those who have sadly passed away, but their absence reminds us of the lives that intertwined with our restaurant. It's touching to know that we were a part of something bigger, a community that has been integral in shaping our lives and theirs. Our restaurant is a refuge, a place where people can sit for hours, literally, and this sense of community is a blend of different flavors that enhance the overall experience. Despite challenges, the love and support from everyone has allowed us to thrive. So the next time you dip a spring roll or a crab rangoon into duck sauce, remember how it reflects a journey, not just mine or someone else's, but maybe even yours. It symbolizes the connections we've built, the laughter we've shared, and the lives we've touched. Life, like the sauce, is about embracing the mix, cherishing the relationships that enrich our experience, and savoring each moment one dip at a time.